today we are going to talk about board games and ways you can play board games from a distance, so we can all stay safe and stay healthy. But we're going to give everybody a few seconds to show up, just in case, we have any visitors at this time of day. I don't know what you guys have been up to while we create the social distance. Last week I was on here with Bread Ventures. Hi, Kathy. It's good to see you. Last week I did Bread Ventures. Thank you all for tuning in. Hello, Joy. And this week I want to talk to you about one of my other hobbies, board games. I don't know what else you guys have been up to. Last night I spent 30 minutes trying to find a piano in our house. We have like an electric keyboard because I decided, what does this quarantine need but another hobby? Hi, Molly. It's good to see you. So yeah, I'm just like collecting hobbies now, I guess. It took me a long time to find this keyboard. It's an electric keyboard. My brother got it as a gift, I believe. But it's too big to fit in his apartment, so he left it at home, which is great for me right now. And it's really true what they say. Nothing is ever lost until your mom can't find it. Because she like walked into the attic in 2 seconds. She was like, it's over there on that table. I looked for 30 minutes. Couldn't dig it up. But one of the things that you guys can fall back on in quarantine is board games. I love board games. I play a lot of board games, especially now that I'm trapped with my family. And one of the things I really, really love is that there are just all different kinds of board games that you guys can fall back on. So I'm going to talk about a few of my favorites that are best to play in person. I'm going to talk about the ones that are really good for playing over like a video chat, and I'm going to talk about why. And then I'm going to show you guys a website where you can get access to hundreds of board games for free. And the companies that manufacture and create these board games have actually done a fantastic job of making them like a virtual tabletop. So you guys could open up a video chat and log on to this website and start a game, and it sort of creates the table for you with a 3D camera, and you can move pieces, and it's awesome. So let's get started because we've got a few people here. It's good to see you guys. And the first game I want to show you is called Gloom, and the best way for me to describe it is probably as if you were playing the Series of Unfortunate Events books, but as a card game. So the game is really, really cool. You get to draw character cards, which are these like transparent sort of goth cards, and you have a family. Everybody at the table gets their own family, and I know, it is really uplifting, Joy. It's the happiest game. And I'm going to tell you why, because your goal in this game is to have the most miserable family. And you do that by inflicting happiness on other people. So you are trying to make your family live their life in the most miserable way possible until they die. And then you flip over the card and it's like, rest in peace. And then you narrate their tragic life story. And it is hilarious. It is a really, really fun game. You can buy expansion packs and play all different themes with as many people as you want. I highly recommend this game because it's fun, it's fast, you play a bunch of short rounds all together. Hi, Anna! Good to see you! And yeah, I really love these sort of party games where you get a lot of people and you can play a lot of rounds all at once. So that's Gloom, and the next game I'm going to show you is called Everdell, and this is a strategy game, sort of like if the Redwall books met an empire building game. Everdell, I actually bought this game for the library because it swept a ton of international board game awards, and then I had to bring it home because I didn't know how to play it, and it's really hard to like learn how to play board games the first time in a program with a bunch of other people. So I inflicted this game on my family, and we immediately were like, we're going to play it so many times. We played it like 3 times in a row. And one of the things I like about Everdell is that even though its game mechanics revolve around building the best empire that you can for your woodland creatures before winter comes, you start playing in spring, and then it's summer, and then it's autumn, and then at the end of winter, the game is over. So yeah, Joy, the woodland animals are really the cutest thing that has ever happened. Let's see, who's on this side? This side is the ranger. He's a little mouse. He's got a little hood. This side we got a frog. He's a barge toad. They're precious. So you collect resources and you attempt to create buildings that will house these little creatures. And you're trying to build the best woodland empire you can before winter comes and the snow ruins everything. It's got this super cute tree, which I love 3D board games. And this game is 20 minutes per player. So you're playing all together, you're playing against each other, but you get to make your moves independently, whether or not other people in the game are ready to move on or not. So you could wrap up your game 10 minutes early and the other person plays all of their turns at once. And then you guys count up points and compare against each other, but it really, 20 minutes per player. It goes up to 4 players with the original Everdell game. They have an expansion pack called Pearlbrook, which adds a river and pearls, because right now in this one it's little resin diamonds. You get twigs, you get stones, and you play with berries, because the villagers can't eat stones or twigs. They eat berries. It's so good. Anyway, Everdell is on the online platform I'm going to talk to you about later. So you guys have the chance to check that game out for free. And now I want to talk to you guys about cooperative board games, which are board games where you play all together against the game itself. And the number one greatest family cooperative board game is also sort of unfortunate. This is my favorite board game of all time. I'm sorry, I feel bad. It's called Pandemic. Which is just the worst timing, but it is really good. And maybe you guys can take out a little bit of your anger. Yeah, Joy, I know you knew this was coming. I love this game. There are a bunch of different versions of this game. You can play Pandemic, like Fall of the Roman Empire, which is Roman themed. You can play Pandemic, like 1918 with the influenza. I mean, it's evolved. There are a ton of spin-offs. I love this game because you are a character in the CDC, and whoever your character is, whatever type of scientist or military attaché, you have special powers in the game. And there are, here's the game board, 4 different diseases that have broken off. There's the yellow disease, the blue disease, the red disease, and the black disease. They have broken out all across the world, and your job is to keep them from becoming a pandemic. And you play this game with all of the cards on the table. So every time you flip over a card, everybody gets to see, and you talk every turn about what the best next move should be. So it would be really easy to play this game with somebody on Zoom, right? As long as you can do what I've done right now and use a tripod and rubber bands and faith to hoist up a camera, or you stack some books under your laptop and give them a view of the game board on a flat surface, preferably with a lot of contrast. If your table is white or you have a black tablecloth you can put down, that really helps the camera pick up the details. You can play safely at a social distance. So I love this game a lot. Yeah, the 2020 expansion pack I'm sure is gonna come out maybe. I don't know. That would be terrible and also kind of funny. I've got a really, really dark sense of humor. So that's Pandemic. Pandemic is really one of my all-time favorite board games. My friends and I play it and we win. I've played it a few times with my mom and dad and we always lose, which every last time I've played it, we've lost every single time, which in a book would be called foreshadowing, but we're gonna hope that's not what's going on here. The next game I want to talk to you about that you can play over video chat, over Zoom or Google Meet, however you prefer to socially distance your life, is Exploding Kittens. I love this game. It's adorable. I should say that all of the games I'm talking about today can go down to age 10. Once you know how to play the game, you could bring that down a little bit lower, but when you're getting used to the game mechanics, it helps if you're playing with slightly older kids. Exploding Kittens can go all the way down to age 7. It's basically Uno, but with hilarious exploding cats. That's sort of just the easiest way to explain the game mechanics, and Exploding Kittens has rewritten all of the rules to the game, and it's called Quarantine Kittens. You can Google it. They've come up with a really great set of rules for how you and your friends can play Exploding Kittens online. It's adorable, and they have done a fantastic job of laying it out in a way that everyone could understand. I really love that game, but I also just really love that company. They have really great, fun party games that you can play with a large group of people, and it's really cool. Yes, tacocat backwards is tacocat. That's one of our cards in this game, possibly everyone's favorite card. And then, I'm sorry, this is backwards for everybody else, but tacocat is a palindrome, so you can read that. The goal in that game is not to get the exploding cat, because the exploding cat kills you. I guess most of these games have sort of a dark ending, now that I think about it. Codenames, another cooperative board game that you could play online, right? As long as your game czar, which is what you would call the person in charge of moving all of the pieces and arranging all of the cards. Codenames is so much fun. You can play with a huge group of people, and it's set up, you set up the card game with a bunch of words, and those words have really no connection in this pack. There's Disney codenames, there's Harry Potter codenames, you can get them every kind of theme you could possibly imagine. And basically you have a map, right? Whoever's in charge of the game gets a card with a pattern on it, and your goal is to get people to guess the random words that are under your colors without guessing the other team, so the other team gets points, and without getting the black assassin who ends up killing you and ending the game. And because everything is played in the open, with the exception of this code card, you can play this game over video chat. It's really a lot of fun. There are a lot of different ways you can lay it out. You can take pictures of the cards and let somebody else play the czar while you're in charge of the pieces. But yeah, you can get creative however you would like. That is all for the physical games I have here. I've got a lot of games over my shoulder. If you want to talk about them, this is like a quarter of my game collection. I really enjoy board games, but I want to talk to you about something that I've just recently discovered online. It's been around for years, actually. It's called Tabletopia, tabletopia.com, but it's like tabletop plus utopia. Okay, Ticket to Ride is a really good game. I completely agree, with the exception that if my family plays it too many times in a row, we can no longer be friends. It's sort of like Monopoly that way, where like we get really competitive and then it sort of ruins our lives, but so much fun. A really, really great, colorful game mechanic where you are attempting to build the longest cross-continental train line, basically. You are the Vanderbilts? Actually, oh my gosh, now that I say that, I don't remember what family built the Union Pacific Railway, but really great. Yeah, it's Arabian Nights, Ticket to Ride, Betrayal at House on the Hill, which is really, really fun, but has to be played in person, tragically. Azul, which also swept the gaming awards and is just basically about making the most beautiful mosaic pattern you possibly can. One Night Ultimate Werewolf is up here. I don't know if you can read that. It's a party game. I've got Seven Wonders Duel, Oregon Trail, Harabi, and The Mind. So I've got a huge variety. But let me take you guys down from here. And I am not surprised your sister flipped the board. It's definitely gotten tense in our house. Can I figure out how to turn my camera? Okay. Tabletopia. Well, actually, that's my bookshelf. Enjoy. Harry Potter's up at the top because he's number one, like always. Okay. This is the website, tabletopia.com. Is that in focus for you guys? Can everybody see? Awesome. Okay, so Tabletopia is a website. It is free and it has tons, and I mean tons, of board games. So you can see Everdell, which I was talking about, is over here on the right, and basically you can create a free account and then you're able to play 2 board games simultaneously, which is really fantastic. I love these games. Some of them are reserved for premium accounts, which are either $5 or $10 a month, depending on what how many guests you want to be able to invite from off of the website. Where's my cursor? But this Wingspan just won a ton of awards. It's actually entirely sold out. They ran out of copies of Wingspan to sell, which is kind of incredible. You're trying to create the world's greatest aviary, I guess. You want to collect as many different kinds of birds as you can and create the best bird museum. Scythe is an empire builder that's like a steampunk alternate 1920s game. And then, of course, Everdell. Those 3 games are some of the 3 most popular games in the world, and they run between $50 and $150 a piece. You can play them for free on here, as well as a bunch of other like really famous game options. So if you click on a game, that's premium, we won't click on that. Let's click on Everdell, just because I've already sort of introduced you to it. You get the option of playing the game by yourself. There are a lot of board games that can be played with one person if you're in quarantine and you don't want to deal with socially distanced Zoom. You can play Hot Seat, which is where you play with random people, and then you can play online where you invite other people that you know to play with you. And Tabletopia is an app you can download to your phone. You can download it to your Mac or your PC. You can download it to your PlayStation, your Xbox, your Switch, or you can just send people a link and anyone can tune in and play this game with you. All you need is an internet connection. And the board games, I mean, the setup is just, it's beautiful. They do a really, really great job of setting up these fake digital boards that you can zone around with a 360 camera. It lets you select things and move them to different parts of the board. It's really, really beautiful. And yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. If you are a person who plays a lot of board games, or you want to try playing a board game with like a large extended family, maybe getting a premium plan is for you. I myself have a bronze plan because I can peer pressure all of my friends into getting their own free account. But you know, we've been trapped in quarantine long enough. I might elevate myself because it's been so much fun to play on. I've really enjoyed it. Yeah, so do you guys have any questions about any of the games I've mentioned today, or anything that you guys have seen behind me? I don't know, what... Before I sign off, is there anything that I can do for you? Because that's really all that I have to share today. Hi Liz, happy Wednesday. We've made it. This is my 22nd day in quarantine. I don't know how far along you guys are, but it's getting there. I'm doing okay, but I need to get out of my house. Awesome. Well, if nobody has any questions, if everybody is happy, where's Finn? Thank you, Hillary. That's a good question. So, I actually dropped Everdell. It has a lot of pieces in it, and I dropped it on the floor, and he bolted. He is downstairs. Actually, he might be outside. It's a beautiful day, and we were going to do some gardening. He ran. They're both hiding from me right now. They're a little scared. Yes, okay. Thank you. There's also something called Game Pigeon, which I believe you can download in the App Store for Android and iOS if you have either an iPhone or Samsung. And you can play through messages. So text messaging back and forth, your different moves. They have a ton of different games. They've got Battleship. They've got like a Scrabble attachment. I can't remember what else is in there. But yeah, no, that was really fun. My sister really likes to play that game. And House Party, yes. You are on the ball today. Are trivia games still popular? That's a really good question, Kathy. I personally love trivia games, but that's because I am a well of useless information. Like yesterday when I was like, when were umbrellas invented? And then I had to go and look that up. It's 1860s, by the way, was when the steel-ribbed umbrella was invented, though they were sold in London in the 1780s and then actually invented in China in the 11th century. Just a well of useless information. I love trivia games. I really want to play one someday, maybe in this setup with a group, but I guess it depends on how on how it's all laid out. We'll see. I get the feeling the longer we're in quarantine, the more we're going to want to try all different types of game options. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. You can always reach me at teen@lakeforestlibrary.org if you have any questions about games or want to talk about books. I don't know what you guys have been reading lately, but I have been going through so many comics on Hoopla. I have read so much. Lauren, we will definitely start up some virtual programming. We are actually working our way. We don't have Google Meet at the library, but we are going to we have what's called Teams for Microsoft, and we are getting that up and running. Hopefully later this month, we will be able to start programs like this. So thank you guys for tuning in. It was wonderful to see you, and thank you for letting me share one of my favorite hobbies, board games. And I will see you guys all next Wednesday. Stay healthy, stay safe. Goodbye.